Have you ever heard of three tiny mice who loved adventures more than cheese? Well, today you'll meet them. Get ready for our magical tale filled with soft giggles, tiny footsteps, and surprises around every corner. Come closer. The adventure of the three blind mice is about to begin. In a bright little farmhouse far out in the country lived three small mice. They were brothers, and everyone called them the three blind mice because they couldn't see very well. Even though their eyes didn't work like other animals, their ears were super sharp. They could hear the flutter of a butterfly's wings and the tiny drip of a raindrop. The first mouse was Pip, the cheerful one who always giggled. The second mouse was Pop, the brave one who loved exploring. And the tiniest mouse was Peep, who asked a million questions every day. They lived in a cozy hole under the warm kitchen floor. Inside, they had soft hay beds, tiny crumbs for snacks, and little shells they used as bowls. One sunny morning, Pip stretched and yawned. Pop listened to the wind whistling outside. Peep bounced around excitedly and said, "What adventure are we going on today?" The three mice heard the farmer's wife humming in the kitchen above. Her footsteps were slow and gentle today. Pip whispered, "Let's go find something fun, maybe fresh breadcrumbs." Pop nodded. "Let's stick together." "No running off." Peep squeaked, "Adventure! Adventure!" They held tails because holding hands was hard with tiny paws. Then they climbed up through a little crack into the kitchen. The smell was wonderful. Fresh bread, warm butter, sweet jam. Their noses twitched like wiggly buttons. Suddenly they heard a soft rumble. It was Peep's stomach. They giggled, trying to stay quiet. But then, gump. The farmer's wife placed a big loaf of bread on the table. The mice followed the warm smell. They reached the table leg, then climbed the wooden grooves like a tiny ladder. At the top, the bread glowed in the sunlight like a treasure. Crumbs sparkled like gold dust. Pip said, "Let's take just a little bit." Pop said, "Just a teeny tiny nibble." Peep said, "Or maybe a teensy-weensy bit more." The three mice each grabbed a crumb. But oops! They bumped into each other. Their crumbs rolled, bounced, and fell off the table. "After them!" Pop squeaked. They slid down the table leg like a fun wooden slide. The crumbs rolled across the kitchen and into the hallway. The mice chased after them, laughing and bumping into walls. But soon the crumbs rolled right out the open back door. A warm breeze flowed in. Peep squeaked, "Let's keep going. The crumbs are almost outside." Pip said, "Should we?" Pop said, "We'll stay together. It's safe if we stick close." So the three blind mice stepped out of the house for the very first time. The sun felt warm on their fur. The grass felt tall and tickly. Birds sang from above. They followed the smell of the crumbs across the farmyard. But while walking, Peep bumped into a pumpkin. Thunk. Pip tripped over a dandelion puff. Poof. Pop walked right into a feather. Floof. The mice giggled and brushed themselves off. Soon they reached the barn. They heard a soft moo and gentle snorts. Pop said, "The crumbs rolled in here." Pip added, "Let's look. Or maybe listen." They followed the tiny tapping sound of crumbs bouncing on the floor. Tap, tap, tap. Then Peep gasped. Oh, something big is in here." They heard loud stomping. Stomp, stomp. It was the farmer's giant horse walking in circles. But the horse was friendly, and when he heard the tiny mice, he lowered his nose. "Hi, big friend," Peep squeaked. The horse breathed out softly. And guess what? One of the crumbs was stuck to the horse's nose. Pop said, "Excuse us, may we have our crumb back?" The horse shook his head gently, and the crumb floated down like a snowflake. They cheered and caught it. "Let's keep going," said Pip. The tiny trail of crumbs led through the barn and out the other side. But now the path ended at something new, a shining metal bucket of grain. And sitting beside it was the farmer's wife. They could hear her sewing. Her chair creaked gently. The mice froze. Pop whispered, "Let's go around quietly." Pip whispered, "Be extra slow." Peep whispered, "Tip-toe, tails." They tried to sneak by. But then, achoo, Peep sneezed. A teeny tiny mouse sneeze, but still very loud for a mouse. the farmer's wife gasped. Oh my goodness. Little mice. The three blind mice squeaked in surprise and ran in three different directions. Pip ran left and bumped into a hay bale. Proof. Pop ran right and bonked into a watering can. Bonk! Peep ran straight and slid under a stool. Slip! The farmer's wife laughed softly. Come out, little ones. I won't hurt you. Her voice was warm and gentle. The mice peeked out, confused. She knelt down and placed 3 tiny crumbs in a row. I've seen you 3 before, she said kindly. You don't see much, do you? But you sure try your best. Pip nodded. Pop nodded. Peep nodded even faster. I have just the thing for you, she said. The farmer's wife opened a wooden drawer. Inside were tiny pieces of soft cloth. She gently wrapped each mouse in a cozy, colorful band around their eyes. This will help, she said. You may not see well, but these little claws will protect your eyes from dust and bright sunlight. The mice felt the soft fabric. It was warm and comforting. Peep said, You're very nice. Pip said, Thank you. Pop said, We thought you were scary, but you're not. The farmer's wife chuckled. I just want the little mice on my farm to be safe. The 3 blind mice felt braver than ever before. With their new soft cloth bands, they walked together in a warm, colorful world of sounds, smells, and gentle touches. The mice carried their crumbs back home through the warm grass. They listened to the birds. They followed the breeze. And they stayed close, holding tails the whole way. Inside their cozy mouse hole, they snuggled into their hay beds and shared their crumbs. Pip whispered, Today was our biggest adventure ever. Pop whispered, And the friendliest. Peep whispered, Let's go on more adventures tomorrow. And so the 3 blind mice learned something important that day. Even when the world seems big, confusing, or a little scary, kindness can help guide the way. And adventures are always better when you stay together. If you like this story, don't forget to join us for more magical tailies every week.